What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the final part of the 32 Picks segment on the Thomas Take Sports podcast. I'm Ryan Thomas, bringing you another edition of the Thomas Take. Very excited to give you guys my take on the next pick in the 2017 draft with the 13th overall selection. In the 2017 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals will select Clemson wide receiver Mike Williams. This is obviously a guy that has been linked to the Buffalo Bills, and for good reason. Clemson and Bills players are like spaghetti and meatballs, apparently. They've had Sammy Watkins, C.J. Spiller, Shaq Lawson in recent memory. All three guys were were picked in the first round. So Mike Williams is a guy in Buffalo that is heavily geared towards going to the Buffalo Bills. But I have the Bills taking Washington Husky corner Sidney Jones at 10th overall for the Buffalo Bills. They could go in the Williams direction. I wouldn't argue against it, but in my edition of the 10th pick for the Buffalo Bills for the 32 pick segment, I do argue against it, as I think that would be way too high of an investment yet again to go in the direction of taking a receiver after they have done it with Watkins, Woods in the second round, and Goodwin in the third or fourth round. Those are picks that were invested in the wide receiver position. Investing another high first-round draft choice in a receiver is troublesome for the Bills organization and for the future of their defense. So I have them going with a corner. Moving on, the Arizona Cardinals will be selecting Mike Williams because of the fact that Larry Fitzgerald is getting older. There's rumors of him retiring, and the fact that Mike Williams is too good of a talent to pass up here at 13th overall. He has a very similar skill set to Larry Fitzgerald, a long, rangy guy that goes up and gets the ball, has separation speed on the football field, but we don't know if he's quite the fastest receiver. God knows he's not a John Ross. God knows he's not a Corey Davis, because Mike Williams does not have a 40 time in which it was tracked at the scouting combine. He elected to skip it and will be running the 40 at his Clemson Pro Day. No harm, no foul, but that does, as of now, drop his draft stock to me for the 13th overall selection. I think, I don't have John Ross going yet. I do have Davis gone, being the only receiver gone off my board so far at 9th overall to Cincy. And I do have Mike Williams going before John Ross. But I think he fits the Cardinals' scheme more so. Would fit being the heir apparent, I should say, to Larry Fitzgerald. You also have the situation of Michael Floyd. He was released last year, went on to New England, won a Super Bowl ring. But Michael Floyd was a former first-round pick of the Cardinals. Never really panned out in Arizona, had off-the-field related issues. So wide receiver is a position that is of need because long-term could be a position that they need. And it's the first-round pick, that is the real debate. Do you take a guy that you don't necessarily need currently, but do you pass on the guy that could really help your team long-term at the position compared to what you have currently at the position? And that is the case with the Cardinals at this selection. Larry Fitzgerald, a guy that is looking to, spend only a couple more years, if that, in the league. And they also, have other positions that they could need. As I just got a notification that Tony Jefferson, the former safety of the Cardinals, will be heading to Baltimore to play for the Ravens. So that could be a position of need as well here, 13th overall. But I anticipate that they will go with the receiver here in Mike Williams. I think he's going to have a good pro day, but right now it's a little bit tough for me to say, in terms of his speed, where will he be ranked? Where will he rank among the better prospects at the wide receiver position? Obviously Clemson is a wide receiver factory. Sammy Watkins, DeAndre Hopkins, two guys that come to mind as guys that made immediate impacts in the NFL and guys that are cornerstone players at the position. So you wouldn't necessarily see a drop-off in talent. The question is not his talent. Mike Williams is as talented as any receiver. From his freshman season on, he's 6'4", 218, 20 catches for 316 yards, 3 scores his freshman year. Took a large step forward from that season in 2014. Received third-team All-ACC recognition by catching 57 passes for a whopping 1,030 yards, 18.1 yards per catch, and 6 touchdowns, while freshman Deshaun Watson at the time ran the show. And this is a guy that he performed on the biggest stage, much like Deshaun Watson did. And to think that there could be a situation where Deshaun Watson could go after Mike Williams, that's how I have it. I think the best case scenario in the case of Watson, rather than my previous pick going to the Browns at 12, you guys can tune into that. Watson could go there at 12. We could see Clemson players go back-to-back, 12 and 13, Watson going 12th, and then Williams going 13th. That would be pretty interesting. That we've seen that in spades, but for Clemson, that would be big for them. This is a guy that I really enjoy watching in college. This is a guy that I think will do very well no matter where he goes. This is a guy that I would like to see in Buffalo for my home team, but I think it makes the most sense for him to be slotted in for the Arizona Cardinals in the scheme of Bruce Arians. A short final part of the Thomas Take Sports podcast tonight. As 13th overall, the Arizona Cardinals will select wide receiver Mike Williams out of Clemson University. Take care, guys. Drive safe. Nobody else is. I got stuff to do tonight. I'm out.